Good afternoon, everybody. Let's look at how to write that file folder book report summary. The summary is the longest part of your book report. It might even be the most difficult part. It certainly is the most labor intensive. Here are some sentence starters for each paragraph that will make your life a little easier. As you write your summary should cover the beginning, the middle, and the end of your book. That's 3 complete paragraphs. That seems like a lot, but it's really not that bad. Let's look at some tricks to get that done easily, starting with these sentence starters. You have 3 sentence starters that you could use for the first paragraph. Your first paragraph is the beginning of the book. The 3 sentence starters outlined in green at the top are the 3 sentence starters you might use. You're only going to need to use one of them. You might say, in the beginning of the book, the blank space is for the title. In the beginning of the book, the legend of Sleepy Hollow was spooky. For that last sentence starter, you might say, the legend of Sleepy Hollow began with or at Sleepy Hollow. This first sentence, you're going to note that it's the beginning of the book, and you're going to use the title of your book to introduce what you're talking about. Your second paragraph is going to be done very similarly. Your first sentence is going to tell us that it's the middle of the book, and then you're going to name the title of your book. And your third paragraph is going to have the similar skeletal frame to begin with. You're going to tell me that it's the ending of the book, and you're going to give me the title of the book. After you've used those first sentences, you've then got to tell me what happened. We read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Let's see how the paragraphs turned out when we write about The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I chose sentence starters because starting to write, that can sometimes be the most difficult part. Let's look at how we did. In the beginning of the book, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow was interesting. We met Ichabod Crane as he moved to Sleepy Hollow to become the new school teacher. In the beginning of the book, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that's the most important event. And when you write your essay, when you write your summary, you are going to look at the most important events. What's the most important thing that happened in the beginning in The Legend of Sleepy Hollow? Well, Ichabod Crane moved to Sleepy Hollow and became the school teacher. Do I need to talk about how he was strict? Do I need to talk about how his students loved him? Do I need to talk about how he slept at everybody's house because he didn't have a house of his own? No, that's not necessarily terribly important. It is facts that I might include, but I'm really going to focus on what's the most important part. And in the beginning of the book, the most important part was that he became the new teacher at Sleepy Hollow. Let's look at that second paragraph. The blue one. In the middle of the book, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow was funny. Ichabod had a crush on Katrina Van Tassel, but so did Brom Bones. Brom would play tricks on Ichabod to make him look silly. Ichabod really wanted to marry Katrina. Not only was she very pretty, but she was also very rich. The whole middle of the book is about how Ichabod was obsessed with Katrina Van Tassel. It was about how Brom Bones would play tricks on Ichabod, how Ichabod had to try to avoid Brom Bones because he was so big and strong, and Ichabod not so much. We went through that paragraph, and we again focused on the most important stuff. That last paragraph, the last paragraph should be the easiest paragraph to write because that's where you're going to include the exciting climax and conclusion. How did the story end? The story ends right after the climax, and the climax is the most exciting part of the book. Let's look at the exciting climax, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That third paragraph in purple. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow ended with the disappearance of Ichabod Crane after a party at the Van Tassel estate where Brom Bones told scary stories about the Headless Horseman. Ichabod went riding on a horse named Gunpowder to go home. On his ride home, he was chased by the Headless Horseman. Ichabod almost escaped, but the next day he was nowhere to be found. Katrina Van Tassel married Brom Bones, but never found out what happened to Ichabod Crane. I bet Brom Bones knows. We actually don't know how that story ended. We don't actually know what happened to Ichabod Crane. I know what we think happened to him. That last paragraph is about the most exciting part of the book. The last of the book is the most exciting part. That's what has the exciting conclusion. Oh, that's what has the exciting climax. So, that last paragraph should be the easiest one to write. You'll notice as we went through, my paragraphs got longer and longer. The further in the book we got, I had more to write about. Yours might look similar to it, but remember the expectation is that you have 3 sentences for each paragraph. If you use the sentence starters provided for you, then you really only have to come up with 2 additional sentences for each paragraph. That's all of 6 sentences. You have lots of time to work on this. We are going to introduce it today on November 18th. We are not going to look for you to have to hand this in until you hand in your actual book report. So take your time. Bring it in. Show me what you've got. Let's work on this together periodically. You do some work at home. You bring it into class. We'll make some minor adjustments. You'll go home. You'll make those adjustments. You'll have a fantastic written paragraph. If you are at home right now and can't bring it in to me, that's okay. If you type this up on a Google document and you share that Google document with me, I'll get a notification that you shared the document with me, and then I can help you edit it even though you're not here. It'll be like we're working together even though you're at home. Have a great day, everybody. Wash your hands. Well, we don't need to say that because y'all are at home. Don't get too stressed out about this, folks. This is going to be easy. Use those sentence starters. You read your books. You might need to go reread a little bit of them, but you've got lots of time to write this paragraph. I know that you're going to do great. I can't wait to see what you folks produce on the finished products of your book reports.